Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining my presentation. My name is Ilker Arkut, and today I will be sharing my presentation, AI, the Great Equalizer in the Workforce. So you got a little intro about me, so I'll keep this one even shorter. My mission is to help reframe AI as the Great Equalizer, a catalyst for self-care, creativity, and meaningful work. To help people stop debating AI and start benefiting from it. This mission came from my own journey, kind of restarting my career and being able to reap a lot of benefits from using it and now helping others do the same. My current work, I work as the admin operations assistant within the Office of the Vice President for Student Affairs at the University of Maryland. Through my journey with AI, I've been able to do a lot of internal consulting outside of my office within many departments through AI education. So my overarching journey where I am right now, these past few years, I've had the opportunity, which I am grateful for, to be able to teach a 4-part course on practical AI, speak at the Maryland Student Affairs Conference, speaking here for you guys today. My perspective was featured on the Washington Post, where they called me an AI super user, redefining how we work. And I'm excited. Next year, I have a few speaking engagements coming up, but the one I'm most excited for is one on AI and productivity. But I want to be clear, I didn't start here. My journey with AI began from a much different place. And that's why I call it the Great Equalizer, because I've lived it. I've seen firsthand how AI can take someone from stuck and searching to finding leverage, clarity, and balance. So today I'll be sharing my story, the nuggets, the challenges, the lessons that helped me get here and help you guys do the same. So before we get into the story, let's talk a little bit about what work was like before AI. It felt very necessary, but not nourishing. So I remember my first job out of college, not right out of college, but like 3 years after I had experimented a little bit. My first real job, I was a copywriter in the financial publishing industry. And based on my experience, I was a sponge. I was a young person just absorbing everything I saw, how I felt about my work, how I saw other people engaging with their work. And based on this experience, I observed a lot of characteristics like so. Most days were filled with admin work, emails, forms, a lot of small stuff, a lot of blank pages to deal with. Getting projects off the ground was a challenge. If there was something that you dreaded, you just pushed through it. Passion projects and learning stayed parked because they took more time and energy than anyone had. We talked about work, more than we did it. We were in meetings all the time. And then sometimes work followed us home. Stress was constant, burnout was common, roles were usually one size fits all, not usually relying on people's strengths, but just the work that had to get done. Some of the feelings associated with this include decision fatigue, burnout, endless to-dos, never enough time, being reactive versus proactive, information overload, and then long-term goals collecting dust. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, Ilker, this is the life I still live. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, the current present reality, the 3 pathways that people are living in right now. So today there are 3 versions of work. Some are still living in the old life, admin, meetings, never enough time. Others are in the doom story, so focused on the end of the world that they're not able to benefit from AI. And then the last group are those who are using AI to create flow, balance, and better output, and just creating more meaning at work. The shift was that before, this was the life that we had to live without any other choices. And now with AI, we have the choice to change that. Now, some people are not taking advantage of that choice, but some still choose to work alone. Others are coming to work with an army of AI assistants doing a lot of the tedious work and doing the stuff that lights them up. What this means and what this unlocks, what AI is capable of is creating real autonomy in work, personalized learning, faster career pivots, scoping out the tedious 80%, reinvesting time in meaningful work, and even being able to build visibility and a brand as a safety net. This isn't just about being a better employee, or this isn't just about benefiting only your organization. It's more about options for your whole work life. AI is at the mercy of your imagination. So let me ground this story. Um, Let me ground these concepts within my story and show you how it did so for me. When the old rules stopped. So this is my story about when I was laid off for the first time and I was unemployed. In January 2023, I was unemployed. The market was rough, layoffs everywhere. And ChatGPT had just launched or just became viral like December of 2022. No one was really relying on it the way they are today. People often forget that the market sucked long before ChatGPT became what it is. There were still some residual impacts from COVID lingering. For the first 4 months, I ran the old playbook, careful tailoring of my resume, clean formatting, fresh language over and over again with almost no traction. Eventually, I hit rock bottom. My savings were thin. My network had nothing. I felt powerless. I began wrestling with the big ethical questions of what comes with using AI. Am I cutting corners? Am I cheating myself? But the truth was, I had reached a dead end. I had no other option. So I decided to make a choice. I decided to use AI, not to replace me, but just to help bolster the areas that I struggled with, and also to get more high quality applications out. I kept the stories, I kept me selling myself, but I let AI handle the grind. Faster editing, grammar, and even stuff that I used to take forever, like tailoring for each job description, and also aligning with the organizational website and mission, vision, values, etc. The impact was almost immediate, from 2 to 3 applications a day to 5 to 10 high quality applications. By month 7 of being unemployed, I had 3 job offers and interviews lined up even after I took my current job right now. The lesson from this is that somewhere along the way, the rules had changed, and using AI to handle grind wasn't cheating. It was the only way to survive the market no one had answers for. Today, you need tools to multiply what you can do. Next, fast forwarding 6 months into my current job, it's 1 p.m. A senior leader needed a book brief and talking points the next day. Reading and summarizing and attention to detail work weren't really my strong suits, but everyone was busy and the work needed to get done. And so I agreed to do it. I had 4 hours, but I had real risk of potentially not doing the job that I know that my senior leader needed, or the risk of running late. So I tried the traditional way, as I did before, for about an hour. But then I once again looked to AI to offset some of my challenges. I found a download of the PDF. I uploaded it to ChatGPT. I uploaded my notes, skimmed through the book while having ChatGPT synthesize and find key quotes. Um, I had it clean and structure everything, verify quotes. And within 90 minutes from that point, the brief was done. I got the approval, and the leader had a strong, usable talking points for the next day. My view on work changed dramatically from this point forward. The lesson from here is identify the work that drains you and use AI to scope it down or completely cut it out. If it doesn't need your unique judgment, let AI handle it to some degree. Keep the truth, keep your tone, keep your ideas, but ship quality fast and save your energy for more meaningful work. From this day forward, my work meaningfulness skyrocketed because the lens that I look at work that I didn't like through, I could do so much less of it moving forward. Buy back time and reinvest. Once I really knew my role, I layered in light AI into almost everything I did. Nothing super fancy. I call it the big 5, but just research, personalized learning, brainstorming, writing and editing, and then outlining and formatting. I created a prompt library of templates so that I could keep repeating wins. Coupling this with productivity mental models like keeping it simple, shipping early, and the 80-20 rule. And the effect was immediate once again. I was consistently saving between 10 to 20 hours a week, and this is on the low end. I was delivering faster, higher quality work, clearing bottlenecks, and this led to me entering this position of autonomy where I was like, what do I want to do with this time? The lesson here is guard that time. It's a reflex for us to invest it back into the day to day. Time is capital. Get clear about what you want to use the saved time for. If you don't guard it, it will dissolve back into those urgent, never ending tasks. I started choosing on purpose health, family, career clarity, high leverage, meaningful projects. That choice changed the trajectory of my work and life. Reinvest in yourself, building on that idea. When I had this extra time, as opposed to doing what we always do, which is investing in business as usual, I decided to get my life in order, do those someday maybe projects that I always put off. I used AI to design a shoulder rehab plan because I had a shoulder injury. I also wanted to start going to the gym more, and I had to build a simple gym program that I could follow. It helped me draft and tailor my master's application. And the same editing assists that I use to apply to jobs, I reframed into something that could help me write content online. The effect, yet again, was almost immediate. And even to this day, I engage in a lot of these practices. I've been going to the gym now for almost 2 years, 3 days a week. My shoulder has improved. Uh, I am in my final semester of my master's program, and I've been producing content for a little over a year now, which has led to all these fantastic opportunities. Um, and also non-negotiable time and principles with having presence at home with family. The lesson here is, and this is one of my favorite quotes that I learned from one of my online mentors, I before we before all. We always do we before I, and it seems like the right thing to do. But when you invest in things that refill your tank, you can show up better for everyone else. So invest in yourself first. And then master's program, personalized learning. This is one of my favorite parts of AI. I was someone who never really fit into school. I'm a generalist, a little ADHD, creative. I learn best by doing, not by soaking up theory. In undergrad, I learned how to get A's, but I didn't know or learn how to love learning. So in my master's, I rewired that with AI. I used it as a 24/7 tutor. I uploaded a PDF, asked all the dumb, nuanced questions my heart desired. I had it build study guides, quizzes, even push back on my answers. That turned reading into a two-way conversation. It wasn't passive anymore, it became active. I also switched modalities altogether. I reduced the amount of reading I was doing because I wasn't getting as much from it. And I started doing Notebook LM's podcast feature because I was able to retain so much more. But the real unlock was actually when I spotted a concept I could use at work, I asked AI to help me shape it into a mini practicum, a small, real project that could couple my learning with a real world resume builder. So the outcome, prep got faster, comprehension went deeper, and for the first time, I actually enjoyed the process. And I was making real impact along the way. The lesson here, don't fight your wiring. Design learning around you. AI makes that possible. Make it active, make it multimodal and applied. Let AI provide the scaffolding, and you bring your curiosity and your human edge. Building leverage in public. When I was unemployed, I felt how unstable the job market was. This led to me wanting to create a brand and write content. I wanted a cushion beyond my job that wasn't going to eat up too much of my time to get off the ground. I used the same editing workflows that helped me get my job to start writing 1 to 2 posts a week. AI did the grind work, the brainstorming, the outline, the cleaning, the grammar, so that I could focus on my voice, my ideas. No budget, just a few hours a week. Within 6 months of writing content, I was able to create a bunch of fabulous opportunities. like the ones that I've mentioned already, as well as dozens of consultations at the University of Maryland within many different departments outside of my office. That visibility now follows me into every room that I walk into. The lesson here is visibility creates security and opportunity, and AI makes building it accessible now to anyone. Organizations change, so your safety shouldn't live in the one company. A small, steady public presence gives you leverage and also makes you more valuable at work. Your ideas travel with you, your network grows, and all of those benefit the organization as well. Career redesign and reinvesting in your organization. Once life was funded and my role was running smoothly, I asked a different question. If AI is getting good at almost everything, what work can't it beat me at? That became my career design filter. I used AI to learn fast, try a bunch of stuff out. I learned Excel and Google Sheets on a deeper level. I tried a little bit of coding. I did some design work, and I prototyped quickly. Then I looked at my organization like a dam with cracks in it that water was spilling out of. Where are the leaks that I actually can fix and want to fix? I targeted the ones that I wanted to be known for. That turned into internal consulting, like the opportunities I've already mentioned, as well as some that I wanted to build my career around, like being able to help our AI team and mental health team put an AI powered chatbot on the university's website to be able to provide 24/7 community accurate info. And I was also able to contribute in creating a peer coaching program with only 4 people when it used to require 3 times that. The point is, or the point isn't to do more. The point is to do more of what is right, what is aligned with you. Design your job around your human edge, your interests, and let AI expand the rest. Choose projects you want your name on. Use the leverage to make them real and shape your impact. Lastly, AI makes one specialized skills accessible to anyone. I used to think skills were gate kept to industries or to job, but like coding for engineers, design for designers. Um, then I built a really cool project that I once didn't have the tools for, and it changed everything. This is my Notion art museum. It was a personal passion project. On paper, it was a year of work, and I had procrastinated for this reason. But with AI as a teacher, a teammate, and a builder, I was able to ship it in a sixth of the time. The same pattern started to spill into work. Automations, I was able to help create survey design, analysis, create trainings, because the learning curve had become so much smaller with AI. It was a speed bump, not a concrete wall. The result, I was able to ship this project, this personal project, in 2 months, and my impact spanned across many disciplines, across many functions and departments without a big team, shipping big passion-filled projects as well. Uh, just being able to use AI in a multitude of ways allowed me to sometimes be the final puzzle piece for projects that have been on the shelf for ages. The lesson here, roles still matter, but every role now has range. We do it all. Keep your human edge and let AI lift you on equal footing with the adjacent skills. So this is my story. Now I'm going to show some of the cool projects I've been able to work on very briefly, and then I'll go into my last little bit. So using AI, I was able to learn Google Sheets and Excel on a deeper level. I was able to create a customer service inquiry tracker for my team, which also provides data analysis and semesterly data summaries. That was really cool. Before that, I was never able to do anything like that. And then I have no design skills, but I was exploring Dolly and creating, designs. And someone on my team was looking to create a sticker for their honor society, and so I was able to get it 80% right. And then I took it to Canva, put the final touches on it, And now we have these sitting in our office that we can give to graduates. Creating websites used to be one of the things I hated the most, more than anything. It took me like months 5 years ago. But with AI, I was able to create a website in 2 weeks, which was absolutely, it's a true game changer. Co-creating a peer coaching program and being able to provide data analysis along with that. Another thing that was once not possible, and also being able to apply my skills from my master's program with practical work in my organization. In my current role, I manage an email inbox to answer, community inquiries and concerns. I had been documenting a lot of common answers over time, and that ended up being the beginning of the knowledge file that I use as my email inbox GPT responder. And so I was able to build this, and now I rely on this every morning when I answer the email inbox. And then lastly, I created a marketing fleet of GPTs that kind of create the marketing process. It's like I like to brain dump randomly. And so I take those brain dumps and then I filter them through all the GPTs, which take on a different part of the marketing process. A lot of these were built from analyzing YouTube videos to create rule sets. And I've made it super flexible and fun for me. And then lastly, my most prized possession, my Notion art museum. It's built very much like an art museum. So you can go through the galleries and you can see the art. You can go back home. There's a front desk, but there's also entrepreneurial elements. You can go and purchase my art. You can also, it's also gamified for me. So I get experience and levels. I also, it keeps track of how many I've added. It was a really, really awesome project to create. So the point is, AI is the great equalizer. And this is the shift in one slide. Before, the inbox ran the day, maintenance work, scarce help, gate-kept skills, perfection, delays, security, tied to one employer. Now, with AI as an assistant, tutor, and builder, I work intentionally, delegating the tedious 80%, ship and iterate as often as possible, get personalized learning on demand. That unlocks autonomy, faster career pivots, and time to reinvest in meaningful work, as well as to build my brand. This is why I call AI the great equalizer. And honestly, I consider it self-care. Less drain overall, more energy, more access, more options. You keep the parts only you can do, and you finally have a partner for the rest. So here are my tips from my entire 3-year journey, going from struggling and unemployed to just exploding with creativity and passion. If you're a beginner, pick a language model, ChatGPT, Gemini, whichever one you're comfortable with. Run with it, stick with it, download the app, create an account, keep it open on your browser, never close it. Work is not the best place to start using AI. It's actually in your personal life that is the easiest place to. The guard is down, there's less ego involved, and it's easier for you to get comfortable with it, build trust, and build a general understanding of what it's capable of. Once you have that understanding, then you take it to work and implement the big 5 into your day job: research, learning, brainstorming, writing, and outlining. Once you've done that and you start to notice the areas of your job that you dislike, cut what you hate or scope it down. Create more meaningful work every day. Decide what AI should never touch. This is a personal ethics piece. This is what makes AI exceptional, is that you can continue to do the things you want to do all the time now. Don't give it to AI. Know what you're saving time for and guard it. Resets like this are rare. Invest in yourself before business as usual. Document your life's work online in a way that feels fun. I use LinkedIn as a daily journal for all of what I battle test. Build leverage, visibility, and security in a way that's fun. Let AI take off some of the edge for that. Personalize your learning ecosystem. Make learning fun again. Tap into skills once out of reach. Spot interesting problems in your organization and solve the ones you want to be known for. And lastly, and my favorite of all, AI is at the mercy of your imagination. There is always a way. AI gave me leverage, clarity, and balance. My hope is that it can do the same for you. Thank you. This is my contact information. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn or become my friend, please scan it. Any questions? Okay, so question number one that I have here, in what ways is AI truly acting as an equalizer in the workforce today? So, you know, big picture, it gives everyone an assistant, which allows them to focus on what they are good at. It gives us the choice to scope down some of the things we don't like. It gives us the ability to, um, for example, GPTs and being able to build out even more amazing workflows and even automations, truly being able to scope down some of this work and give us leverage to, get the holistic work life in order. I think that is really powerful today in a way that we didn't have before. We just had to do it before. Um, do you see a risk that AI could replace low barrier jobs faster than it creates new opportunities, thereby widening the gap for some workers? Um, Absolutely. I do think that there is a great chance that this could happen. And this is why I see AI as the great equalizer in the holistic workforce. So, not, like I said, not for your organization, but for you in all areas. If something were to happen, and could very likely happen, because you're building visibility, you now have more flexibility in a situation like that, as I was in. What are some examples of AI tools or platforms that have successfully empowered individuals or small teams to compete with large organizations? Honestly, I think the ones that were big when we first started, like language models like ChatGPT. I mean, everyone that is literate in AI and tools like ChatGPT, um, your entire organization being able to use it like that, I think that is a game changer for an organization. So nothing super fancy or high tech or specialized. How should L&D teams and HR leaders rethink upskilling strategies to make AI adoption truly inclusive and empowering? And HR leaders rethink upskilling. Um, I think I think AI is a very personal journey. I think you can create opportunities to learn, but I do think that helping people navigate their own personal relationship with AI is more important than anything big picture. That's why I'm a firm believer that it's better to learn it in your personal life where the guardrails are low. And this is what I've seen in my experience in my consultations. People gain that confidence and trust and skill in their personal life, and then they're more inclined to bring it to work. So, not rushing that process. Um, how how do you protect against filling that free time with more work? How do you get excited about new things you can spend your time on? Um, Thank you, Habib. I hope I said that correctly. How do you protect against filling that free time with more work? I think it's a lot of it's that's a good question. Uh, I think it's really taking it slow, and I take a lot of walks. I think you should do whatever is where you reflect the most in your life, do more of that, and get clear about what is 5 feet ahead. I'm not talking about, like, big goals, but, like, what is, like, immediately in front of you, and we all have this list, and then it's just about breaking it down. I use AI to break things down for me as well. Procrastination is usually just like a lack of clarity, and so AI can now help you break down things into, it's microest task, the easiest task to start. Okay, that was all the questions that I had. Thank you again to everyone who was able to be here. I am grateful. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your time at the Artificial Unintelligence Conference.